13 people have been killed and 31 others have been injured in a tour bus crash in Palm Springs. Target stores have pulled creepy clown masks off of their shelves after the recent sightings of frightening clowns. Over 25,000 people walked during the 30th annual AIDS Walk in Los Angeles.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Abril Preciado.
And I'm Katerina Chrysofis. 13 people have been killed in a tour bus crash on the 10 freeway north of Palm Springs. Another 31 people were injured after the tour bus slammed into the back of a semi-tractor trailer. The bus was coming from the Red Earth Casino and crashed just west of Indian Canyon Drive. California Highway Patrol officers say the cause of the crash was not immediately known.
The bus had been inspected by Highway Patrol inspectors in 2014, 2015, and as late as April 2016, and no mechanical deficiencies were noted.
It has not been determined if drugs or alcohol were involved.
Federal investigators are trying to determine who caused the recent widespread internet disruption. Investigators say it appeared to be the result of a series of cyber attacks. On Friday, people all over the United States and Europe were unable to access sites like Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, Twitter, and others. The attackers appear to have tapped hundreds of thousands of internet-connected devices to cause the widespread disruption. A senior U.S. intelligence official told NBC News that it does not appear to be any kind of state-sponsored attack. They say it may have involved MyRai, the malware that was recently used to temporarily shut down the websites. Friday's international attack began early in the morning and hit companies such as the New York Times and Pinterest.
Every 2 years, CSUN has an award ceremony recognizing women and their achievements. Valley View News reporter Dana Lights has more.
The 12th Biennial Phenomenal Woman Award celebrated women who've made strides in their careers and are activists who are trying to change the world one step at a time. CSUN honored 4 women for their contributions to society.
The people being honored today and the hosts, male and female, believe in exceptional, professional, and philanthropic performance. I mean, we're honoring people here I read their bios, they've done some jaw-dropping things with their lives. They didn't have to. They've stepped out of their comfort zone and made the world a better place.
Along with the awards, the Gender Women's Studies Department had a silent auction. Many sponsors like OPI, San Diego Zoo, and comedy clubs contributed prizes to raise funds to support students and faculty. The recipients of the event included an actress, muralist, attorney, and food justice organizer.
We have 55% of our students are women now. But for all of our students, male and female, I think it's important that everyone appreciate and pay tribute to phenomenal women, because there are so many of them, and these are just a few this year. This award event has been going on for 20 years, and there's more to come.
CSUN faculty presented the awards to the women, then each speaker talked about the projects they've worked on in their lifetime. They encouraged the audience to be passionate and realize that every woman is phenomenal.
This award is incredibly important because it is women honoring other women, and it is women who study women and gender, and therefore it's even more important because these are women who really know what's out there and what's going on.
The Phenomenal Woman Award empowers women, teaches all to strive for their goals, and to be proactive in the world. In Northridge, Dana Lights, Valley View News.
Hillary Clinton has a 12-point lead over Donald Trump in a new poll. Not long after the last presidential debate, Clinton led with 50% of votes. Donald Trump is trailing with 38%.
I sort of have this kind of old-fashioned idea. If I'm asking you for your vote, I should tell you what I want to do, right?
This level of support for Clinton is the highest it's been. Trump's support is at its lowest.
The political election has been a main focus on late-night comedy shows.
Gabriela Ortega is in Studio B with more on the story.
Thank you. I'm Gabriela Ortega, and I'm here in Studio B with political science professor Tom Hoganesh, and we're going to talk about comedy's influence on the political election this year. Political satires, cartoons, and jokes have existed since the start of media. How has this evolved recently in history?
Yeah, I think the big break is probably television, and I think the think Saturday Night Live is really the one show that really has taken political satire to an art form. But it becomes interesting when Saturday Night Live begins to drive the news cycle. So these things wouldn't be funny, right, unless they were true, at least to some extent. And so Bill Clinton, as a target of satire in the 1990s, sort of began to drive the narrative about him. Now, he won both elections, but someone more recently, Sarah Palin, I think her brand was harmed by the satire that you saw on Saturday Night Live, because it really reinforced some of the negative things about her in terms of her command of the issues and her kind of garbled syntax that she was known for.
And shows like the Daily Show is referred to as fake news. Do you think it can be a confusion to viewers who see that as their only input of?
Yeah, I don't know who would use the term fake news. Maybe critics would, I think. But a lot of what you find on those shows is really quite interesting critique of the political system, and in a lot of ways, the kinds of critiques that you don't actually hear on the 6 o'clock, CBS News, and certainly wouldn't hear it on local news, as they're clearly not following important matters of the day, right? It's focusing a lot on entertainment. But I mean, that's also happened over the last 20 years or so, is that news has become more of a product.
Every week, SNL does a satirical piece on the presidential candidates, and Donald Trump has tweeted last week that media is rigging the election. Do you believe this to be true?
Yeah, I don't think there's any evidence that the media have the ability to rig elections, but as I said earlier, they can drive a certain narrative. Now, you take a candidate like Donald Trump from just a satirical perspective, there's a lot to work with here, and so Trump shouldn't be surprised that Saturday Night Live and other news outlets are satirizing him, and the issue becomes, does that begin to drive a specific narrative in the electorate? And if you want to call that rigging the election, I suppose you could say that, but that's been the case for previous candidates, right? Al Gore lost in 2000, partly because of the way that he was lampooned on Saturday Night Live. But I wouldn't consider that rigging the election. I mean, this is just part of a democratic discussion in the country. And another interesting aspect is why is so much of political satire on the left in this country? And you don't see that many comedians who are conservative. You see a lot of comedians on the left like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert who come from the left. And so I think there's a little bit of a deficit on the right in this country in terms of just trying to be funny. And I think to that extent, they're at a little bit of a disadvantage because they haven't produced the kinds of comedic talent on the right as you have on the left in this news media environment.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and for being here today. This is Professor Tom Hoganesh, and I'm Gabrielle Ortega in Studio B. Back to you.
The latest polls have Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson with 6% of its projected votes. Valley View News reporter Ariana Takis attended Johnson's rally at the Boulevard 3 Lounge in Hollywood.
Libertarians from across Los Angeles cheered on presidential candidate Gary Johnson at his rally in Hollywood. Johnson told reporters that he doesn't think he is a spoiler candidate.
I am offering young people, I'm offering independents, I'm offering active military personnel their first vote, meaning I'm their first choice. There is nothing spoiler about that.
Television actor Brando Eden was the celebrity guest speaker at the event. He endorsed Johnson as the best candidate to vote for.
Because he has a political philosophical foundation to have the tools necessary to tackle issues that may come up or new things that come his way.
Johnson, a former governor of New Mexico and two-time presidential candidate, addressed his positions on the economy, legalization of marijuana, as well as his thoughts on Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
I would not vote for Trump, I would not vote for Clinton.
Libertarian activist Boomer Shannon says Gary Johnson has presented himself well in the controversial election season.
The political environment has been so degradous, so nasty and negative, that the positive politics that Gary Johnson is spouting is having a really positive effect for our party and for the campaign as a whole.
Although he has not been included in a major debate, supporters still stand by the Libertarian candidate.
People of all ages, races, colors, creeds, backgrounds, socioeconomic issues are demanding change. They want more choice. And this is a clear example of people coming together in the middle of the week saying, we want choice. We want something different.
Although voter turnout among millennials is expected to be lower this election season, supporters came in full swing for the Johnson rally. In Hollywood, Ariana Takis, Valley View News.
With elections just around the corner, Valley View News reporters went around campus to ask students about the importance of registering to vote.
No, I'm not registered to vote because I'm not a U.S. citizen. I think you should vote that because this is your country. You're supposed to do something for your country, even if you don't agree with the presidential and what is happening now. You're supposed to do something for it. Not doing anything is actually a disadvantage to America.
Some people, maybe they are lazy, or another reason is one of the most important things that's happening is the presidential elections, and both candidates, either Hillary or Donald Trump, some people do not see it worth it to vote for both of them, although it depends on the citizens. So I do recommend everyone to vote because the country, it's dependent on the people who vote in the end.
I think a lot of times they feel that their vote doesn't matter. Like a lot of people that I've interacted with, they say, well, my vote doesn't matter. Why should I vote? And I think a lot of it has to do because people aren't really informed, like the importance of voting, or they're just too lazy to go and vote.
A private radio station is providing hope for the Iraqi city of Mosul. Al Ghad FM was founded in defiance of ISIS when the extremist organization seized the area nearly a year ago. 28-year-old Mohammed Al-Masli broadcasts music and talk shows to the entire city as well as online. Daily newscasts keep besieged citizens informed outside of the Islamic State propaganda. Al-Masli says this serves as a way for people displaced by conflict to stay in contact with loved ones.
Kurdish fighters are advancing toward the city of Mosul in the battle to drive out the Islamic State. The Kurdish Peshmerga are among 100,000 fighters moving toward Iraq's second largest city. They outnumber ISIS forces 20-1 and are liberating nearby villages quicker than expected. ISIS has retaliated with reports it has killed dozens of villagers suspected of supporting the Kurdish forces. Officials expect intense street fighting between ISIS and Peshmerga once Mosul is reached.
A Mexican police chief has been arrested 2 years after 43 students disappeared. Felipe Flores Velasquez was arrested Friday without incident in Guerrero. That's the state where the students disappeared in September 2014. The announcement was made by Mexico's National Security Commission on Twitter. Flores is being held on suspicion of organized crime and kidnapping. The 43 students have never been found. The case has become an embarrassment for the administration of President Enrique Peña Nieto. The federal government has repeatedly denied any cover-up. Critics say the case is a symbol of a corrupt system in which criminals and cops sometimes work hand in hand.
The annual AIDS Walk happens all over the U.S. to raise money in the battle against HIV and AIDS. The Los Angeles AIDS Walk recently raised thousands of dollars. Here's Dejanay Howard's report on the walk and where this money will be spent.
According to the AIDS Coordinator's Office, more than 30,000 people were diagnosed with AIDS. As of December 2009, there are more than 20,000 people living with HIV/AIDS in Los Angeles. The annual Los Angeles AIDS Walk helps the city by raising money towards organizations focusing on people living with HIV and AIDS.
We raise money for APLA Health, who is one of our benefiting organizations. The money goes towards services such as food pantries and HIV testing and that sort of thing. And we have other organizations that sign up their own teams, and the fundraising that they do, they get to keep a very large portion of that towards their own organizations.
People come to this event every year to volunteer towards the fundraiser and participate in the walk. The AIDS Walk is a 6.2-mile walk that starts and ends in Grand Park. A volunteer for the fundraiser talks about how she's contributed to the AIDS Walk and how it helps.
I've been volunteering for the AIDS Walk today, but also off and on for the past
22 years, I think. In our community, it's always nice to see people come together to support an important cause.
Director of Communications of APLA Health, Michael Wadowitz, talks about what APLA Health is and how it helps people with AIDS.
APLA Health has been around for about 33 years, and it started originally as an AIDS service organization. Back then, at the height of the beginning of the epidemic, it was really about helping people die with dignity, and obviously the epidemic has changed drastically over the last 3 decades. But what we do now is a combination of medical, dental, and mental health care, HIV prevention services, so that's everything from HIV testing, STD screening, PrEP.
Some of the teams raising more than $50,000 are APLA Health, Latham and Watkins, and Win and Spirit with more than $76,000. The Los Angeles AIDS Walk raised more than $1 million for just this year alone. In Los Angeles, Dejanay Howard, Valley View News.
A father and his 7-year-old son have been found dead inside of their Garden Grove home. Authorities say police responded to a 911 call of a possible suicide. The 911 caller was able to pull the boy out of his home before officers arrived. Officers tried to revive the child, but he was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Police later found the body of the father inside of the home. Officials say the body showed no signs of trauma. Garden Grove police are still investigating the cause of death.
A baby girl from Louisville, Texas has been born not once, but twice. Linnea Hope Bomer was taken out of her mother's womb for 20 minutes for life-saving surgery to remove a spinal tumor. It happened when the mother was 16 weeks pregnant and the baby weighed just 1 pound 3 ounces. The tumor and the unborn baby were almost the same size by the time the operation was performed. The team then placed the baby's back in her mother's womb. Linnea entered the world for the second time 6 months later by C-section at almost full term, weighing 5 pounds 5 ounces.
Just days before Halloween, big retailers like Target are taking clown masks off their shelves. Celine Zavala reports.
Looking to be a clown this Halloween? Recent clown scares across the United States has made the longtime costume more popular. One place you won't find a clown costume at is any of Target's U.S. stores. Just before Halloween, the major retailer has decided to pull the creepy clown masks from their shelves. Target spokesman Joshua Thomas says given the current environment, we have made the decision to remove a variety of clown masks from our assortment. This comes after multiple reports of scary clown sites across the country that has led to school lockdowns and arrests. Students say their school has been taking the recent scares seriously.
Oh, I actually got an email from my school saying we're not allowed to dress up as clowns for Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
I think in my school, I mean, it's allowed, but I don't think it's recommended. So I feel like we're gonna get in some trouble.
At school, it's a major threat. We're not even allowed to say the word or we will get in trouble and benched and not able to play because it's a big threat. People are crying about it.
But down the street of this Target in Northridge is a Spirit Halloween store that carries a variety of scary clown costumes. Halloween shoppers say they don't see a problem with Target's recent actions.
With the whole clown scares, if someone is wearing it and they're not malicious and let's say they get attacked or tackled, that person could get really hurt, even if they're not doing it maliciously. Or if they do sell it and someone does take it to come out here and go after other people, then they're basically condoning it. So I think it was good that they took it down.
If you still want to be a clown this Halloween, Target will be selling children, oversized, and sexy clown outfits on their website. In Northridge, Celine Zavala, Valley View News.
Up next, the Cubs beat the Dodgers.
CSUN soccer team wins against UC Irvine.
An LA Lakers player asked to be released from the team. The Cubs went against the Dodgers for the chance to make it into the World Series. Here's Gabrielle Ortega with the latest in sports.
Thank you. The Chicago Cubs are headed to the World Series for the first time in over 70 years. The Cubs eliminated the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 6 of the National League Championship Series.
Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw was rocked by home runs and RBI singles and only lasted 5 innings. All-Stars Dexter Fowler and Anthony Rizzo delivered clutch RBIs in the game. Cubs fans went wild after the historic win. The Cubs are facing the Cleveland Indians in World Series this week. The CSUN's men's soccer team is now first in the Big West after defeating UC Irvine 3-1. The Matadors now have 14 points in the Big West South Division standings. Cal State Fullerton and UC Riverside are both tied with second place with 13 points. UC Irvine is in fourth with 6 points. Patrick Hickman, Juan Samayoa, and Shane Steffs all got on the score sheet for the Matadors. CSUN will close its regular season with 2 important matches against Cal State Fullerton and UC Riverside. The Seattle Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals tied 6-6 in an odd game. This was the first tie in NFL without a touchdown since 1972. That's when the Eagles and the Cardinals tied 6-6. The latest tie is the lowest scoring match to go in overtime in NFL history. In both overtime, kickers blundered 2 field goal attempts. The Cardinals will travel to Carolina next week for the match, and the Seahawks will travel to New Orleans to play the Saints. Lakers forward Yi Jian Lee has asked to be released from the team. He averaged only 11 minutes playing time per game in the preseason. Yi said he felt that he would have better opportunities somewhere else. He reportedly asked for the release so he could continue his international career. Forward Anthony Brown was also cut from the team's final rosters due before the NBA season begins. The Dallas Cowboys held their annual rookie dinner this week at Nick and Sam's Steakhouse in Dallas. The bill, $54,000. Dishes at the upscale restaurant include a dry-aged long-bone cowboy steak with black truffle butter. That's $105. A prime 16-ounce filet goes for $70. Wide receiver Des Bryant says the team split the bill. Bryant said that in 2010 he paid the entire $55,000 bill of a rookie dinner. Wow, nice guy. Great receiver, too. And that's all for sports. Now back to you.
Thank you.
When we come back, Walking Dead has shocked fans with the premiere of their 7th season.
And see what Miley Cyrus is doing to influence young voters.
Ms. Stevens, I just wiped malware off our system. People have got to stop clicking unsolicited email links and downloading free software unless it's from a trusted source.
Sounds great.
We need a data backup plan in a separate location in case we get hacked.
We need to focus on making profits, not spending them.
Learn to protect yourself from ransomware. If you become a victim, contact your local FBI office.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Welcome back. Now let's go to Dana Lights with the latest in entertainment.
Thanks, Abril. AT&T is buying Time Warner for $85 billion. Time Warner owns HBO, CNN, TNT, and Warner Brothers Film Studio. Time Warner says the merger will bring innovation and increase savings for customers. AT&T will be able to make Time Warner programs available on its DirecTV service. Time Warner chief Jeff Bukes says the deal was partly to get ahead of their competitors.
What it allows us to do is just move faster with more innovation, better consumer offerings, more different price points, more effective advertising, and therefore people are going to see that more of the cost of content can be borne by advertising.
The merger could cause other internet companies such as Google and Apple to make deals with other program creators. CSUN has held its annual Big Show this week, but this year it was different. Big Show was held during the day Sunday, not its usual Saturday night. Many students didn't like the change.
I didn't go, maybe mostly because it was like I didn't know a lot of the artists, and it was kind of a daytime thing. Like usually I see concerts and I like to go to them, I don't know, nighttime stuff. So I just didn't get a chance. I'm not too much of a early day guy.
I didn't go to Big Show because I wasn't informed that there was an event. I didn't even know such a thing was happening.
It being a Sunday is a little harder to deal with because then you don't get to stay out as long because you have school the next day if you have a class. Mm-hmm. I'm here at 8 a.m. on Monday morning, so I was like, not gonna.
Honestly, I think Sunday is a good idea. Okay. Yeah, I think if I had been fond of the artist, then yeah, I definitely would have gone.
I did not go to Big Show because Associated Students here at CSUN is so good at scheduling and made it the day before I had a midterm.
I actually didn't go to Big Show because I had work, so I did not have time.
Yeah,
to go.
I didn't go either because I'm too broke, college student.
I'd want to go though next year if I didn't have work, but.
Miley Cyrus knocked on dorm room doors at George Mason University in Virginia in support of Hillary Clinton. The singer, actress, and activist went door to door telling students she was there in support of Clinton and asking if they were going to vote. Cyrus earlier said she would leave the country if Donald Trump becomes the next president. With less than 2 weeks away until Election Day, Clinton's campaign has recruited singers like Cyrus and Katy Perry in attempts to boost her chances. Tyler Perry's Boo, A Medea Halloween, is #1 in the box office. The movie brought in $27.6 million. Analysts say the great turnout is due to social media advertisements on Snapchat and Vine. The movie competed against action sequel Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. The Jack Reacher film finished second and brought in $23 million. The premiere of Walking Dead's 7th season gave viewers 2 shocking deaths. The show's villain Negan killed one of the audience's favorite characters, Glenn. Negan also killed another fan favorite, Abraham. The nationwide ratings for the premiere were not immediately available, but early results in Central Florida broke records for the show, with more than a 30% increase from season 6. A Catholic church in Encino has made a tradition of holding a neighborhood carnival every year. Valley View News reporter Keisha Phillips has more on the story.
A nonprofit charitable event organized by volunteers holds a carnival every year for its local residents.
Well, I came out to support the church, and it was a community get-together. And there's always good food. I'm enjoying the good food that they have here and the beer.
A carnival is typically a public celebration combining elements such as great food, drinks, and this event even has a bar area. It also includes fun rides and games to play for everyone to enjoy. The carnival serves as a way to renew society and improve the world for all, which makes it an exciting place to experience. Many people volunteer to help make the difference.
So this is just an opportunity for all the kids to get together and the community to just feel more together, and as parents we have to volunteer a certain number of hours so the kids get to enjoy it and the parents get to know each other.
Scary rides, they're really fun, especially the kamikaze.
The venue also provides live entertainment for people with great bands, and the great music comes from K-Earth 101.
The Lady of Grace Church puts on a carnival once a year in the local area for the community and neighborhood bonding. In Encino, Keisha Phillips, Valley View News.
People who love Girl Scout cookies can now have the delicious sweets for breakfast. General Mills has announced they will be selling a Girl Scout cookie cereal early next year. The 2 flavors that will be released are Thin Mints and Caramel Crunch. General Mills said some of their proceeds will go to Girl Scouts of the United States of America. That's all for entertainment. Now back to you.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Abri Preciado.
And I'm Katerina Christofis. See you next week.